Thank you. Good morning. Dear President, respected members of International Executive Council, sisters and brothers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here for a couple of days, but let me tell you that it looks excellent from here, from the stage. What a great convention. Congratulations at first. So it is a great pleasure and honor for me to bring you a warm greeting of solidarity of more than 50 million members of your global union, IndustriALL. I would like to thank International President Jones and all members of International Executive Council for this kind invitation to the 33rd Consolidated Convention of International Brotherhood of Boilermakers. Using this opportunity, I would like to congratulate all international officers for their re-election to their positions. Since 1880 to 2016, a 136-year proud history in the union movement. Amazing. This year, our two German affiliates celebrated their 125th anniversary, but I don't know if there is any other remaining union rather than Boilermakers Brotherhood celebrating such 136th year anniversary. International President Jones mentioned in his opening speech, your great brotherhood is one of the cornerstones in your societies in North America. It is absolutely correct. We recognize and we respect it. However, it is not just limited to your great countries, but your brotherhood is also one of the respected key members of the family of IndustriALL Global Union. We are very much proud of having all of you as part of our big global union family in metal, energy, mining, and whole manufacturing industries in 143 countries. Your great International President Jones is serving as member of our Executive Council, as well as chair of the materials section inside IndustriALL Global Union. Thanks, dear President, for your great contribution to all our activities. Your presence and leadership gives us incredible power in our political work throughout the world. In addition to the International President, I need to explicitly mention the names of my brothers, International Vice President Warren Farley and Chief of Staff Tyler Brown, who helped us incredibly in developing our strategic planning, particularly in the materials section. With respect to health and safety, I need to mention the name of Mark Garrett, and for communications, Mike Linderes. As the cement industry is in radical restructuring globally through mega mergers and consolidations, your International Brotherhood of Boilermakers actively participates in our global councils like Lafarge-Holcim, like Heidelberg Cement. You also make great contribution to reactivation of North America Cement Union Council. You're also actively involved in other sectors like mechanical engineering, like mining industry, shipbuilding industry, energy industry. We recently worked together on two particular solidarity and organizing cases, namely Belgian company Loist and Curies, which is part of Swedish company SABL Ebloy. Our support will continue, sisters and brothers. And I would like to thank you, all of you, for your consistent support to IndustriALL, and to me personally, I always myself proud and privileged in working with you and receiving your great support. I really feel myself at home. Sisters and brothers, your global union IndustriALL was established exactly 4 years ago with the objectives to organize and build the collective power of workers around the world, to promote and defend their rights and common interests against the increasing attacks from both employers and governments. In today's globalized world, we need to be able to work together more than ever across the national borders to make sure that every worker has the right to join a union and to get the protection of a collective agreement with living wages and safe workplaces. Sisters and brothers, these are not easy days for workers everywhere, since anti-union neoliberal policies and politics of austerity create huge problems and challenges to all of us. It is an important duty to all of us to do everything in our power to bring accountability and responsibility to those who devise and run today's economic, social, and political system. One of these trends needs to be in unity. Our answer is to educate and organize workers and struggle together to demand and receive justice in workplace and in society. Our answer is stand up, speak up, fight back, and fight forward like you do with the great international brotherhood of Boilermakers. IndustriALL Global Union and the Boilermakers Brotherhood are proud to demonstrate to all that there are organizations like us that are jointly committed to fight for justice for manufacturing, energy, mining workers, uniting millions of workers to confront the current system. Sisters and brothers, there are important reasons for this new era of trade unionism. According to the statistics, there are 2.9 billion workforce in the world. 40% of this workforce are living in informal economy. And only 7% of the workers are part of free and democratic unions. This is not a high figure. However, trade unions are still the most organized establishments in our societies. It is still important that our trade unions nationally and globally are founded on the idea of solidarity. One of the most important goals is the struggle for the preservation of jobs, the creation of new ones, and the continuous improvement of the quality of life. Sisters and brothers, it is now clear that growing inequality is one of the biggest threats to prosperity and economic growth in the world. It is bad for people, it is bad for business, it is bad for governments. I need to say that the main institutions of the global economic system also acknowledge this without being ashamed. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, released a report showing that global inequality is now as bad as it was in 1820, before the Industrial Revolution really took hold. The International Labour Organization just released a report called World Employment Social Outlook. The report found that almost 2.5 billion people remain in poverty across the world. The ILO said a third of workers earn less than the moderate poverty threshold of $3.10 a day, and their prospects are deteriorating as global trade slows and oil prices affect producers in developing countries. Reducing inequality, sisters and brothers, is a question of political will, value, and struggle. This is particularly important for the United States of America when there is an election campaign at the moment. Let us continue to work together to build a powerful union movement and fight for economic and social justice everywhere in the world. We need to be able to reduce inequality. We need to make sure that every worker earns a living wage and enjoys adequate social protection. When the parents earn enough for food, housing, healthcare, and education, then their children can go to school instead of going to a factory. Therefore, the IndustriALL Global Union Global Family continues its action for living wages, which has already helped improve living conditions for tens of millions of workers. In Indonesia, for example, industry workers have doubled their wages in 4 years. Despite this, they only earn $200 per month. Cambodia has increased by 75% in only 2 years, but the minimum wage is still $128. Bangladesh, 4 million young women and men sew clothes for you, for me. At the world's lowest minimum wage, it is around $60 per month. And Mexico, and the average wage in the industry right now is more or less 30% less than China. If you allow me, sisters and brothers, I want to highlight some of the important trends which cause such bad situation for workers and for trade unions. One of the very important trends is the global supply chains. Capital is no longer restricted to operating with national boundaries, and companies of all sizes, industries are interconnected through global networks known as global value chains. And 60% of global trade, which is 20 trillion US dollars, consists of trade in intermediate goods and services that are incorporated at various stages in the production process of goods and services for consumption. We published recently a report which shows that the leading 50 multinational companies employ only 6% of the workers who manufacture their products directly. Suppliers and subcontractors employ the remaining 94% or 116 million strong hidden workforce. The expansion of global supply chains has been driven by a business model designed to take advantage of low wages and inadequate regulation and enforcement. This needs to stop, sisters and brothers. Enough is enough for the world's workers. Another important issue I want to mention here, sisters and brothers, is TPP, TTIP, and other trade agreements. Industrial Global Union's Executive Committee agreed on a set of demands for negotiations on trade agreements like these. Our demands included to guarantee transparency and democratic legitimacy, inclusion of international conventions on workers' rights, and opposition to excessive and secretive investor protection. Unfortunately, the TPP, reached in October 2015 by 12 Pacific Rim countries after years of secretive negotiations, fell short of our demands. And right now, one of the most controversial provisions in the TPP is the investor-state dispute settlement mechanism. It gives multinational corporations the possibility to seek billion-dollar damages from member states in private legal panels if they feel that laws and policies affect their profitability. And this is why we need a strong global union. We need strong Brotherhood of Boilermakers. We need strong IndustriALL. Our second Congress will take place in the first week of October in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil with the motto of fighting forward. I can tell you that we have now an IndustriALL politically strong and progressive. And the second Congress in Rio will be an important stepping stone on our way forward. And sisters and brothers, you need to be proud of your great international Brotherhood of Boilermakers. You have not only fought for your struggles in the United States of America, in Canada, but also offered concrete support to your sisters and brothers around the world. Please continue to organize workers into your brotherhood. We need to organize everyone, especially young workers, those in temporary and agency jobs, and women. We need more women in union leaderships. Let us show that an injury to one is injury to all. All of you can participate in this global solidarity action. We need all of you to play a strong role here. I wish you great success in this great convention, and thank you very much for your great attention.